Yo. What we doing? Hi, Jonas. How's it going? For some reason my Twitch isn't coming up on my streams. Let's see, maybe it fixes. Let's see what alerts I just had. I was looking at an Enzo short. Kind of missed it this morning. Maybe if we get a little pop up to 285 on Enzo, we can look at shorting it, I think. Good. But this can probably go back to like 2.4 really. 2.4, 2.3, like a 21% drop, so. Oh, there we go, your messages coming through. Yep, everything is. Turn this music down a bit. Everything's good my end. Chilling, trading, waiting to accumulate some BTC spot. I think pretty close now. Pretty close to accumulating spot. Yeah, I'm essentially looking to accumulate under 60k, basically like down here, really, 60 to 50k. Like maybe we can do, you know, something similar to this, and sort of like here where we sort of bleed and bounce and just sort of like consolidate before then like legging up, right? Similar to here where, you know, similar to what we had prior cycle where we deviated under the prior all-time high. Get this deviation under prior all-time high. And I'm starting to think, you know, there's a lot of people targeting like 35 to 30k for an entry. And there's like, just to like throw some thoughts out there. Like, obviously I've been pretty vocal on the fact that I believe there is an opportunity where we can go to fresh all-time high. The only downside is obviously like macroeconomic side of things in terms of like markets. It's pretty stale right now. The market, like crypto itself, like the industry is kind of, I wouldn't say dying, but it's not thriving, that's for sure. We haven't had like really anything positive come to the space for a while. Like it does seem like we're in a very much like a doomer phase of the market. There's just not been anything like positive that's come out as of recent, right? And like it does feel like, I mean, that does happen in these downtrends. You know, we are 52% off the highs, but like everything is like, all projects are literally just like going to zero. You know, BTC's breaking down, but like theoretically, like I want to throw out some different ideas I roughly have, because, you know, I've been very vocal on the fact that, first of all, I think that there's a possibility that we can go to a fresh all-time high before November of this year. This is more than possible, right? Being able to go to new all-time high is more than possible. We can trade, you know, we can trade up like easily. We can trade up 150% over the course of the next 250 days, right? That's more than possible. But then again, it brings me back to what I was saying about like the space being pretty dry at the moment, like in terms of news, and pretty dry in terms of like positive things coming out. It just seems like it's all doom and gloom, right? Which It's not bad because these sort of events form bottoms, right? But yeah, let's say there's a scenario that we go all-time high, yeah, fresh all-time high. Maybe then you can get that 70 to 80% pullback into 35, 30k into a bear market, right? So like, let's just say we essentially do something like this, right? For Bitcoin, right? Like theoretically speaking, something like this is more than possible, where we leg up to fresh all-time high, right? And then we go into a bear market until sort of 2027, where we bottom into 30 to 40k. Right, this is kind of my main idea right now on the market, based on things that I've discussed a lot in previous streams. But the fact that at this point in every cycle we have pulled back 40 to 50% before going on to rally to fresh all-time high, right? 2013 pullback, fresh all-time high. 2017 pullback into fresh all-time high, and 2021 pullback into fresh all-time high. And again, we're seeing the same thing here. 2025 pullback 50% as of right now into fresh all-time high, and this is based, and these areas are based off time-based fibs as well, and all are relative to the cycle before. So this area is based off the bear market, a low and high, right? And the prior bear market low. So like that cycle is essentially made up of this cycle here, right? That's given us this value. And essentially this area was made up of this cycle here, right? We look at we click on it, you'll be able to see, right? You can see where the dots are, they line up. So relative to prior cycles, you know, we are doing a similar thing. So my main idea right now is that we see a fresh all-time high on Bitcoin this year. If we take the whole like macroeconomic side of things out of it, and just like how there's so much doom on the timeline and nothing really positive coming out of the market, like if we ignore all of that, you know, and we talk simply about like technical side of things and previous like historical data, the fact we're like trading like into 58% off fair price, which historically has always been a fantastic buy opportunity, right? Yeah. Then I can see a scenario where this happens, where we bounce into fresh all-time high, and then we run into a bear market, and then people can get that sort of 80 to 70, you know, that standard bear market pullback, right? 78%, 85%, 86%, right? Fresh all-time high into like a bigger pullback, right? 85 to 86%. This is kind of my main idea right now, which is why I like the theory of this 35 to 30k like getting front run as of right now. So ideally we can buy into 60 to 50k. This is my optimal area to buy, and whether this is the true bear market and we do leg down to 30 to 35%, you know, if you can stomach a 35, another 35% drawdown, then it's fine, right? So that's why I'm looking to accumulate here, down under this previous all-time high and this huge like reconsolidation. Like we've kind of just wiped the whole Trump move essentially. Like obviously this is where Trump got elected back in November, and it gave us that breakout. So yeah, essentially looking for a bottom over the next couple of weeks and months around here, where then we can go on to leg up fresh all-time high. Whatever price we go, we have to decide, you know, where we're going from here into that bear market, the official bear market into 2026, 2027, end of 2026 and 2027. So yeah, right now want to accumulate into wherever that chart's gone. Here it is. accumulate into 60 to 50k. Optionally, if we don't get a sweep down there, which would be really quite frustrating, as of right now, if we manage to get a reclaim back above 67,500 on BTC, that's really positive. A reclaim back above 67,500 on BTC, you're gonna get that acceptance back inside the developing quarterly value, which right now you can see has been a very difficult place for BTC to get above. If we can accept above 67,500, you've also got this big high volume node POC from the range back in 2024 and also the 2024 VWAP. So this would offer a really solid reclaim, and you could almost guarantee a move to sort of 78 to 86k on a reclaim of basically 67,500. And obviously you would need to get a flip of 71, but I think this would be the main flip you want to look for here for upside. In that case, I would chase a spot position on BTC if we can reclaim 67,500. But for now, that's going to be a big level. Logistically speaking, it makes sense to take a short from that region based on the significance of that area. It's an important place for us to flip. For that reason, I'm going to look for a short trigger into it. If we get a pop into 67,500, I'm going to look for short triggers this week. If we do manage to flip it at some point, then this is when I chase. But the main idea right now is that we do reject from 67,500 and pull back into sort of my accumulation area. Yeah, accumulate down here, which would be great. But yeah, this is kind of the main idea as of right now. Sort of, similar to what we've done basically all previous cycles, where we've bounced into this region. We've essentially sold off, bounce, and then eventually gone into that official bear market. So I know what I'm looking at here. Yeah, a lot of doom on the timeline, which often is, I guess, positive for buying into the lows, right? In terms of altcoins, currently got this really nice short running on ban. We're currently down about 10% on this. I think it's 11%, roughly. I can't remember the exact entry. But this is looking good. I think this is a trade I gave for the group in the Discord, like most of my trades. And this is looking like it's going to go towards 0.1 if we can break down here, which is great. Be around a 22% move, and I'll probably TP the majority of it into 0.11, but into this developing quarterly and yearly value row high. But this was a really nice short to take, so it's kind of my idea right now. Just continue to short these scam pumps and these top gainers, which we'll go on to now and take a look at. And if you guys have any chart requests, obviously feel free to send them in. I actually haven't looked at the BTC Gold chart in a while. Let's take a look at that. I accidentally clicked on my watch list yesterday and sorted it by symbol, so it's a complete mess at the moment. I need to move it around. Like, how is gold trading at the moment? 100. Oh, I got my 5200 test. This is kind of what I was looking for gold, was like a potential right shoulder into 5200. Do some sort of like consolidation. So that'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Strategy basically full retraced. Let's bounce. Okay, let's look at smolts. Yeah, VVV, I've got a limit short at 588. That looks like a pretty good place to short it. So I have a limit for that up there. So I have a limit short for B2 somewhere. I have a limit short for B2 at 0.98, but I'm actually unsure whether we move up that much, to be honest. Surprised if we get a move up that high. All right, let's look at some top gainers. See if there's anything worth shorting today. So this is probably a nice short into 7.9 hollow. 7.9. Let's set some limits on that. Add that to my wish list. 7.9. What would that be? Pop from here. 25% pop. Previous quarterly val, prior monthly VWAP. Whether it goes there from here, I'm not entirely sure though, but it's worth setting some limits. Not that really, yeah. I could see a world where we come back up to here, right? Up to 102k. And everyone thinks we're going to do this sort of like right shoulder, but it overshoots. Fresh all-time high. And then sells off. A lot of stuff is like scamming up this morning, just like random 30% pumps. This altcoin is mad. I've been watching it for a move to 0.16 for a while, but it's just so awkward to try and get along on it. Been waiting for this move up for ages, but I've never seen like a good opportunity to jump into a long on it really. Probably the best option, like best place was like Tuesday last week, but even that like eventually full retrace to then bounce again. It's just super scammy. So what I'm scanning for at the moment is some short triggers, or maybe things that have scammed up like throughout the morning. If not, can't really see much. I'll go through and scan again and see if there's anything we can play continuation on, because I can't really look for both at the same time. Well, you can, but it's just easier that if I do them like one after another. Like first I look for short setups and then I'll look to see if there's any continuation setups really. So right now there's not too much in terms of shorts. AVAX is pumping. Someone was asking about AVAX on my stream yesterday and was laughing that people are still looking at these coins, but inevitably is up like bounced 12% off the lows. But I mean, you like zoom out and it's cooked. Crazy. ETH high into Bitcoin lower high line chart theory. Oh, let's have a look. Yeah, good spot. And look at the last, look when it done that last on Monday. Doing the same shit again. All right, let's keep an eye on this. I really do. I really would prefer like a pop into sort of 67. I like this is good. Like it's really good to spot in terms of like intraday bias. Like it's a good thing to spot when the market's doing this because I mean, I can quickly talk about it. Just historically, often when you find that ETH is, you know, ETH can outperform BTC. That's like it's fine. That's okay for, you know, ETH to go up. Let's say ETH to go up plus 2%, right, and BTC to go up plus 1%. Like that's fine. Like ETH historically always bounces more than BTC. But it's when you start to see a bit of a change in the structure, right, rather than the percentage of the move. So, for example, if ETH starts to make higher highs, right, and BTC starts to make lower highs, this is not something you often want to see. And on the 4 hour especially, has marked local tops for like the market consecutively recently, like on this downtrend. A lot of the time in this downtrend, let's try and find some examples. Here, for example, this is on the 30-minute, but you know, look at BTC, basically flat highs. ETH higher high, even on the lower time frame, ETH higher high, BTC lower high, right? And you can see how ETH just unwinds from there. So it's a good thing to spot in terms of like an intraday position. So we'll keep an eye on this. And right now there's obviously some froth on the side of ETH longers. But the only issue is that if I was going to take a position into this, it's kind of in no man's land right now for me in terms of like, I wouldn't basically just short because ETH is doing this and BTC is doing this, but more so if we went into here, into this 67k region, right, and BTC starts to do this, right, but meanwhile ETH is legging up, this would give me more reason to short BTC or ETH or whatever else like you're looking at shorting on the day, right? Got an Enzo alert coming in. Yeah. It's just collapsed 9%. Yeah, that's rough. Like I was saying at the start of the stream, I wanted to short it this morning, but I was a little bit late when I noticed it around 10 o'clock. That's unfortunate. I basically wanted to see a pop on it. A bit of like a trap into 2829, and that's where I wanted to short it, but whatever. This is probably going to 22 24 would have been a good trade, to be honest. Yeah, probably going 25%. Never mind. We've got some signals coming in. But yeah, we'll see how this develops today on BTC and ETH. We'll see how this this structure develops. What do I think of Farcoin? I can have a look at it. Really think something like this is more than possible, to be honest. Oh man, it's collapsing. Fuck. So she just collapsed 13%. I shorted it yesterday for the group. I don't remember where. Got to stop break even anyway after a drop, but. Fuckcoin, let's have a look. Up 6% on the day. Hold on, gonna sneeze. It's me. Fuck! I need to delete my alerts because I'm just gonna keep looking at it. Oh, it's plastered through all my alerts anyway, it doesn't matter. It's done now. Altcoin, I mean, the obvious bid would be 0.1. Waiting for a sweep of that 10-10 wick, right? That would be the obvious entry right now. Otherwise, I'd wait for like a good reclaim back above 0.24. Like, I think until 0.24 is reclaimed on Farcoin, this is probably just going to keep like bleeding out until that 10-10 wick gets backfilled, to be honest. I mean, this is kind of what ban can do if it doesn't crash soon. Crazy. So div. Not too bad, but yeah, it's kind of no man's land on other. LCH. All right. Let's see if there's any continuation setups on these. So there's a little shorts as of right now. Kind of want higher on some things. Anyone got any chart requests, by the way? Good chart requests, obviously, feel free to send them in. Yeah, something like this would be nice. Look at accumulating into this area, like how profitable it is. Super profitable area to accumulate. Pump, sure. Looks a pump in ages. This almost filled as 10-10 wick. That'd be a really good buy, I think, on pump if it fills that 10-10 wick. Sweep under there. Like, I'm actually going to set some alerts for it. I'll get a buy signal as well. Sweep into, yeah, sweep into 0.0015-ish. 0.0014 would be great for pump. I'd like that for a long down here. It seems like the best place to be a buyer on pump. Holy shit. Alright, this is pumping way faster than I thought it was, but it's actually coming into an area of interest for me. We can get sweep into here. I think we can look for a short for sure. Developing quarterly and yearly VWAP minus plus 2.5 free standard deviation on the monthly and also prior monthly val. That looks good. These are kind of spikes I like to short. Let's take a look at the flow. Just wicked straight back down. What a theory. This is my theory, right? We go. Let's go. Theory is we bottom right. We come up to 100k. Everyone thinks we lock in classic head and shoulders, right? Bunch of people start shorting, selling, overcooks into fresh all-time high. Everyone thinks, oh my god, we're next bull market already. Meanwhile, Tom Lee's buying more and more and more. His average stays high. He thinks he's saved. ETH doesn't make fresh all-time high. ETH's still trading at, I don't know, $1,200. Probably not really, but realistically, still struggling. Tom Lee thinks he's saved. Tom Lee eventually gets blown out because his average is still high. He's still buying. Then he gets blown out. Then we go into real bear market, gets blown out into the bottom, and then we start next bull market. Schizo theory. Everyone looks at short in here, blows through, fresh all-time high, bear market. I know all this from looking at the 1 minute chart. No, I don't, but. I had this to watch this. See, this is why you have to sort of wait for a good few closes on the 30-minute time frame, because this can easily correct. Like BTC can easily catch up here to that ETH structure, so it's not worth it yet. But there's obviously some froth in the market coming from ETH, so. If there's any continuation subs, we can just look at taking. But these EU sessions are kind of dead lately. Like, Virtual, maybe continuation long, but it's not perfect. Yeah, it looks like I'm not gonna get my 0.08 fills on Holo, so I'll just remove that from the watch list. We got KSM and AVAX pumping on the day. You missed my BTC view earlier. You said something like 67k. 67k is the key pivot for BTC. Yeah, 67,500. If BTC can lock in a reclaim above 67,500, this is probably gonna leg up to 78 to sort of 84ish. But until then, a little bit cautious of a bearish retest into like further selling on BTC. So for that reason, I'm essentially looking for a short trigger this week into 67 to 67.5. Like logistically speaking, this is a place you'd want to look for a short. And let's say BTC, you know, I don't get a trigger or BTC invalidates my short and we start to flip 67.5, getting that towards 70, then this is going to be a good place to start looking at chasing that flip. But for now, this is your main pivot here, 67 to 67.5. I mean, ARC this is going to go 0.16. It's just really awkward to try and get an entry on it. It's really shitty PA. Too long, it's better to short these. Look at the short 67. 500's really. Yeah, this is probably done. It's not going to give me that 7.5, 7.5 feel? Really? Let's see what alerts going in. Looks super liquid, like trying to short this, to be honest. Market is feeling dry as fuck today. Like, it's feeling really fucking dry. Best bet is probably waiting for a pop on BTC into 67,500 and looking for some shorts there, really. A lot of my sell signals through the morning already played out, so yeah, I might call that a stream, to be honest, guys. I'm kind of all talked out, and like, especially when the market's trading this slowly, there's not too much to talk about, really. Like, I'm getting some alerts come off, but they're not great. Like, I need the dailies to be a little bit more overextended to be shorting into these, really. Upside is still possible on a lot of them, so. And these top gainers are pretty, there's not much going on here either. Yeah, just over an hour anyway. Live most Wednesdays, although I don't think I'm going to be live on Twitch next Wednesday, as I'm on my laptop and I can't stream from my laptop. So I might do it on the Thursday instead. But I'll keep posted. Obviously check out the Discord if you're not in the Discord already. Post all my daily trades and ideas, thoughts, write-ups, education, everything is in there every day. Have a good week. Catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.